Welcome. It is Thursday, June the 19th, 2025, Juneteenth. I had the day off from work. Today, I'm headed to Sugar Land, Texas. They are going to have an unveiling of a new historical marker to represent the Sugar Land 95. And what that is back in 2017, the city was doing some construction work, and they came across this unmarked cemetery from back in the day. And it turns out there are 95 people buried there. 94 of them are men and one is a woman. And it dates back in the day after slavery was abolished. They found some kind of loophole in the system where they could still use people as slaves, and that's where the people are buried. So yeah, today they're going to have an unveiling of a historical marker to represent those people. I already went to Chick-fil-A this morning, got my coffee already caffeinated, so join me if you will. It's good to have you here. Will you? All right, made it to the James Reese Career and Technical Center at 12300 University Boulevard in Sugar Land, Texas.
Today I ask that we all take time to enjoy the moment as we pay honor and tribute to those who lay to rest in the cemetery on this joyous occasion.
Good morning. Good morning. As Chastity said, my name is Chris Godwell. I am chairman of the Fort Bend County Historical Commission. On behalf of the Commission, it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you to this dedication ceremony for the Texas State Historical Marker for the Sugar Land 95 State Convict Lead Labor Camp Cemetery.
We together have been able to elevate the work of her late husband, Mr. Reginald Moore. I call to the stage none other than Miss Marilyn Moore.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Juneteenth. Happy Emancipation Day. On behalf of the Sugar Land 95, friends of the Sugar Land 95, we thank you for joining us for this historic occasion, which has been about 3 years in the making. Thank you to the Fort Bend and Texas Historical Commissions for engaging with the community to tell the untold story about convict leasing in Texas, and more specifically in Fort Bend County and Sugar Land.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alicia Costello, and I am joining you to represent the Texas Historical Commission in the State Historical Marker Program. As with every marker we produce, this marker first started with an application. Over a several-year period, we worked with the County Historical Commission, Fort Bend ISD, several local stakeholders, and one foundry to produce the marker that you will see before you today. By our very quick count, and I did this on my phone, so take it with a grain of salt, this is the 10th state historical marker for Sugar Land and about the 109th for Fort Bend County. I love this stat. In the marker program, we know that we are not the first to tell any of the stories that end up on our markers, and we will not be the last either. The stories first belong to the people who lived them. In this case, the men who found their final resting place here, and their families who mourned them. Many of these men experienced the first Juneteenth and tasted freedom. However, through increasingly strict laws passed in the subsequent decades known as Black Codes, they ended up back in chains through the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Under these new chains, they did the same types of work in the same types of places they had done pre-1865. These men would never experience freedom again, and their families were irreparably changed. Next, the story belongs to the torchbearers who kept the story alive and brought it to this point. And right here, I have to point out, I would be remiss if I did not specifically call out Reggie Moore and Marilyn Moore. They researched extensively and advocated tirelessly for their stories to be told. Because of these torchbearers, the story now belongs to the community members and partners here today. You are the new torchbearers. Whether you have been carrying the torch for 30 minutes or 30 years, you ensure that the story continues to our descendants. We know this marker is just one of those efforts to see that the story remains available for future generations, but we hope it is an effective one. This marker also represents something I personally love about doing local and public history. I always thought history was so black and white. I mean, like it was right there in black and white in my textbook. But I quickly learned that the history I read in my textbook had been gone over by many, many, many people before. I like to use the road that the metaphor that the road of history we travel in school is a really well-paved road. It's like the 99 Parkway of roads, okay? It's the 59 of roads. Local history, seeing how the things you read in your textbook end up with the things and the people around you, that's different. Doing local history is akin to carving a path in the jungle with a machete. You follow breadcrumbs of information you find along the way, and you make the road. And yes, sometimes the scraps of information you're able to cobble together into a map leads you in circles or dead ends, or more information than you thought possible. Sometimes you toss out half the map and start again. Sometimes you're having to take pieces together. Sometimes you realize that you take two maps together as if they were one and you have to undo it. What you understand is the story is constantly evolving, expanding, subtracting, connecting, and offshooting. That is certainly true for this marker, which took a multitude of representatives from different disciplines and communities to produce what's here. We hope what we've done expands the knowledge of a history that you find interesting, whether that's agricultural history, family history, criminal justice history, sugarland history, Black history, or the dozens of other histories this narrative intersects. And we hope you pick up the torch and bear it beyond us. Take what we've done. Carve the path a little further. But first, a warning. For every answer you find, 5 more questions will pop up, I promise you. And you will realize that no matter how hard or fast you work, or how many internet tabs you keep open, your work is absolutely never done. That's the part about being a torchbearer. You pick up the torch from generations past, carry it while you can, and the future generations will pick it up from you. And if you have any spare time, don't just study history, make it. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. Morning. I have a 30-minute proclamation. We'll be brief. I know there's a lot of our elected officials have some, so I'm going to read only the last paragraph of my proclamation. I, Commissioner Andy Myers, hereby proclaim this Juneteenth holiday appreciation to the many folks across Fort Bend County and the state of Texas who worked tirelessly to establish this memorial site as a place of remembrance for those who suffered and died under the Texas convict lease system, and to ensure their stories are preserved and shared for future generations. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sanjay Singhal, and it is my honor to be part of this ceremony and read out this proclamation on behalf of Sugar Land City. So this is the dedication of the Texas State Historical Marker honoring the Sugar Land 95 on this day, June 19, 2025. This dedication on Juneteenth, a day marking the emancipation of the enslaved Texans in 1865, honors the memory of the Sugar Land 95 and reaffirms our commitment to justice, liberty, and healing. Now therefore be it known that on behalf of the Sugar Land City Council and the Mayor of Sugar Land City hereby proclaims June 19, 2025 as a day of remembrance for the Sugar Land 95 and commend the ongoing efforts of the Friends of the Sugar Land 95. Thank you. And I would like to leave this podium with my own words, saying that as a moving on journey, we should all remember that we should forgive but not forget. That should be our motto to move forward. Thank you very much.
undertold historical marker at the Sugarland site will help to preserve and honor the memories of the many individuals whose lives were tragically lost as a result of that unjust system. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the dedication of the undertold historical marker memorializing the Sugarland 95 be commemorated, and all those involved in securing this designation be commended for their efforts. From State Senator to the Senate District 13, Boris L. Miles.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, first of all, kudos to the leadership of Sugarland 95. From the idea and where we are now in short 3 years. So thank you for your foresight. Thank you for your commitment. Anybody who's involved with SL 95, please stand up. I think you all deserve a good round of applause. Anybody has to do anything with SL 95. It is my immense honor to be part of this historic event today. You know, the greatest thing about America is not its economy. Many other countries have it. Not about its leadership. Not about its military might. But the greatest thing about America is its promise of freedom. And Barbara Jordan very well said, what the people want is very simple. They want an America as good as its promise. And we need to remember that as we strive for freedom for ourselves, we cannot get freedom for ourselves if we deny freedom to others. On June 19, 1865, our Union forces arrived in Galveston only 2.5 years later, but it's always good to be late than never. So I'm glad that we are celebrating this event. As a physician and legislator, I take pride in taking care of ailing patients and ailing policies. Because I feel in my core healing. Healing through listening, healing through engagement, and healing through service. And that's exactly what we are doing here today. We are learning, we are healing through our mistakes so we don't repeat it again. It is my honor to present with the resolution today to commemorate the good work of Sugarland 95 and to make this history today. Thank you and have a good day.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is indeed an honor to be in the room today. I first have to thank all of you for being in this room. I remember when this work started, this room did not look like this. But because of tireless efforts of folks like Miss Marilyn Moore, folks like Chastity Elaine-Rolade, and I have to say champions like our board president, Kristen Tassin, all of us are in this room today. So please give yourselves a round of applause. Now, I'm going to read this paragraph and I'm going to sit down, but I can't underscore this enough. I am delighted that board president Tassin is back on the board and has recommitted the district to the mission of remembering this work. She was a tireless, fearless advocate for Sugarland 95 when I was a staff member here in the district, and she is a fearless advocate in ensuring that the district keeps its commitments to the memories of these souls, but also ensuring that the county keeps its commitment to ensure that we too participate and convey the $1.5 million to help to build out this park. I'm going to make sure that that gets done. Whereas this historical marker honors the lives of the Sugarland 95 and acknowledges the injustice they endured and ensures their stories will not be forgotten. And whereas their stories would have remained largely untold, if not for the tireless efforts of community members like Reginald Moore, whose perseverance in seeking acknowledgement of this history ultimately prevailed and led to this moment. Now, therefore, I, Dexter L. McCoy, County Commissioner of Fort Bend County Precinct 4, do hereby recognize June 19, 2025 as Sugarland 95 Remembrance Day. Thank you all.
about, definitely wasn't taught about. And over the past 5 years, we have done the work. You hear people talk about doing the work. We have done the work, and we have not taken it lightly, nor have we taken the opportunity to do the work for granted. We know that today, when truths are questioned and people pick holes in what are facts, you can't argue with the artifacts that we have here on display. To be able to tell our story as a community of learners, of leaders, of family, who are committed to ensuring that the lives and legacy of those individuals, 94 men, 1 presumed female, are not lost. The goal is to reclaim their identities and to be able to say their names with full force so that they can ascend to new heights, to finally be free. And on this Juneteenth holiday, there's no better way than to celebrate this installation and dedication of the historical marker for the Sugar Land 95. I started my journey in the school district 20 years ago as an 8th grade U.S. history teacher. And I taught U.S. history for about 8 years. And not once did I educate a single student about the system of convict leasing, or the period known as convict leasing. And so one of the things that I have held as my personal mission is to ensure that this chapter of history, which has been open for us all to know about, is one that not only the students learn about, but that our community have an opportunity to learn about as well. And so we emphasize learning in this facility. And we have an exhibit that you all have an opportunity to enjoy and engage with before you leave today. Also, a living testimony is that sometimes learning doesn't happen just in the classroom. And so about 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, a group of students reached out to me. And I wasn't their teacher. I didn't know them. And they were all from different schools. We have a very large school district, by the way. And they wanted to start a group because they had learned about the Sugar Land 95 in their classes. And they felt that they too had work to do. And so there's a group of students who developed a virtual exhibit that features the Sugar Land 95 and the James Reese Center. And today they are here to present that to you. Their showcase includes a detailed 3D model of the Sugar Land 95 exhibit, models of the Sugar Land past and the history of Sugar Land. They have done research and they have developed a physical model as well for you all to view. It offers a meaningful opportunity to show you all how technology can help remember those who have gone through hardships due to the convict leasing system. I would like my student exhibitors to please stand. Come to school here and they walk past the cemetery every day. They deserve to learn, but they also deserve to do it in an environment that is welcoming and conducive of them reflecting and truly embracing the history of what happened. Because this is not the last time we are here in this room. I guarantee you. First time I was here in this room for the Sugar Land 95 was 7 years ago when we reinterred them, and the room was probably a quarter full. And here we are today, 7 years from then, with a packed house, standing room only if you haven't looked behind. And I guarantee you, when we finish this race, and we have that outdoor learning area and a proper cemetery, we won't be able to be contained in these four walls. We will be out there celebrating, remembering as a community, as a family, dedicated to honoring, memorializing, and ensuring that the Sugarland 95 are found and not forgotten.
All right, there's the marker right there. Just getting ready for the unveiling of it.
I forgot to tell y'all we were going to go to church today. If I could please have Fort Bend ISD recent graduate, Miss Jade Coleman.
Please, may I have your attention? My name is Jade Coleman. It is an honor to be here with you all this morning. As a student in Fort Bend ISD, one who attended this very campus and walked these grounds each day, being able to perform at this event means more than you can imagine. And I present to you an original poem, Echoes in the Earth. Recently, somebody told me there were graves beneath my classroom. I said, there are graves beneath my classroom. They said, there are graves beneath your classroom. No longer strange fruit bared upon the trees. There are whispers when class quiets down. There is history we can touch and not just see. The sugar on this land tastes bitter. Maybe because it's rotten, poison from the forgotten. There are graves beneath my classroom, hollowed out and carved within bones, not strange fruit, but still hanging. And we not at church, but I'm still praying. And for all the unspoken words I'll be saying, them, I pledge allegiance on blood-packed soil, where iron once kissed wrists, unearthed, but the wind still whispers their names. 95, no bow ties or coffins wrapped around their grave. No textbook taught me how to carry the weight of the forgotten. So I'll write them back into history with every breath that I speak, every accomplishment I reach, and every time I chose to stand and not settle for a seat. I mean, if this ground could speak, if this ground could talk, it wouldn't just reap, it would roar. 95, 95 black bodies, black children, black souls. Who do you hold when even the sun can't cancel out the cold? My walk and your walk is different. Maybe it's my ancestors next door fueling my intelligence. When I walk into school, I think I act different. Maybe it's because my ancestors are next door fueling my intelligence. It way different when I say I am black excellence. There are bags under my eyes carrying all of my visions. Perhaps it's fueling my intuition. Just listen, I mean, we got memorials turning mourning into movement. It's been a long time. But what do we know? A change is gonna come. Oh yes, it will. About 150 years, we may not be able to go back, but moving forward, there will be nothing but flowers planted from their tears. I may not have been born by a river, but I was born with bare feet that will walk, that will march, that will dance, that will stand, that will go everywhere that they weren't allowed, that will stomp because they couldn't be loud, that will be proud of being used to chase my melanated dreams. I was walking to class the other day and I heard an echo from the earth, identifying, clarifying everything covered by the dirt. They said, Jade, show them everything our people are worth. The legacy of Sugarland 95 is not confined to tombs, it lives in me. It breathes in this poem, and as long as I speak, they will never be forgotten.
Sorry, real quick, I just have to say, wow, this is absolutely stunning and amazing. Abby and I have been here from the very beginning, and we did the excavations and also did all of the analysis, getting to hold everybody's hand who was here as they got to tell us their stories. So now to my written speech before I start crying. We are honored and humbled to get to share this day with you all and to have been part of the story of finding the Sugarland 95 from the very beginning. How exciting it is to see so many of you here to honor the life of the Sugarland and who strive to bring awareness to the importance of their lives, their lived experiences, their lessons from our past, and the meaning of family. Most of all, we are excited to have the ability to reconnect their families with their long-lost loved ones so they finally know what happened when their family member disappeared. Principal Research Group was formed by a group of dedicated scientists and historians to tell the stories of the underrepresented. Among the core research group that conducted excavation, laboratory analysis, and archival research for this project, a new idea coalesced. The close-knit group that had helped to illuminate the conditions suffered during this time of reinstituted slavery in the state of Texas wanted to continue the search for the identities of the deceased and use isotope and modern DNA techniques to learn as much as possible about this cemetery population. In response to the requests from advocacy groups, the descendant community, and other interested parties, Principal Research Group was formed to pursue DNA research and conduct genealogical and historical research to identify descendants of the people that we are standing here next today. Our goal is to give them back their names. In the fall of 2019, the Texas Historical Commission issued a permit to me as principal investigator and the Principal Research Group as the project sponsor to authorize a 10-year study that we are here to report on today. Standing here in 2018, I had no idea that when Rain Clark, an archaeologist with Goshawk Environmental Services, called, how important this location would become. I first stepped on site to identify what was thought to be a Native American individual, but subsequently I was standing there and identified a coffin, which then changed the complete trajectory of the project. Over the course of a few weeks, Rain would call me several times a day to update me on the number of individuals that he was finding every day. And one day he called and said, I found 15 in the last hour. Halfway through excavations, it became clear Reginald Moore was right. This was a convict labor cemetery he had warned was present. This realization quickly shifted the tone of the project. Every individual we carefully excavated told us a story about who they were. Every person buried here was a human being who had been met with the injustice of the era. Many of the individuals stick with me. And for example, when we found an approximately 14-year-old boy, the reality of what occurred here hit home, and it broke me when I was excavating his skeleton. This young boy, barely a teenager, was being forced to live in such horrible conditions and to lose his life in such a manner. His lost life shows just how the Sugarland 95 are so very important because they are a reminder of the inhumanity of our past and how those actions of our forefathers shape the reality of our today and our children's futures. Although we cannot tell his mother what happened to her son, it is our goal to give him back his dignity, name, and find a family who will finally know the truth of what happened to their ancestor. Please take a moment today to visit this boy. He is unknown grave number 7. Through the partnership with the Snow Molecular Anthropology Laboratory, we have been highly successful in extracting DNA for the necessary identifications. Their expertise and knowledge on how to run DNA while maintaining strict confidentiality of the Sugarland 95 DNA and the living relatives, and their use of the forensic investigative genetic genealogy test allows us to search for the relevant DNA necessary to identify relatives without prying into other sensitive personal information found in the DNA of those that are submitting their tests. The results from the FIG test is compared to GEDmatch and family tree DNA, and those people who share genetic relationships with the individuals are sent to our genetic genealogist, Rita Simonetta, who connects the DNA match results to living individuals. Through research of genealogical history, she can uncover their identity. It is a difficult, long, and arduous task to accomplish, but we are committed to accomplishing this for every single Sugarland 95 member. This task cannot be done without the support of the community, and without relatives coming forward to provide their DNA for comparison, it is impossible. Comparative DNA gives us the ability to check for relatedness, and the participation of living relatives sharing family histories, documents provides the family records and history necessary to make these family connections and accomplish the identifications. In most instances, Rita must make connections with people who are 4th and 5th degree relatives, with family connections going all the way back to the 1840s, and at times even earlier. Community and support from relatives are key to this process, and the task of identification is not easy since we are dealing with very few written documents recording the names of African Americans and their relatives. Historic records are few and far between, making it almost impossible to make identifications through historic documents alone. But with combining DNA and the records that do exist, Rita has been able to work miracles in building family trees for individuals that lived over 100 years ago. We would like to thank the genetic and genealogic family members for their continued support and faith in our efforts that we can accomplish this goal. Also, a huge thank you to you, Chastity, for being here from the beginning for us for all of these years and having faith in us. We'd also like to thank the Texas Historic Commission, Fort Bend ISD, Honey Brown Hope Foundation, Marilyn Moore, and the Friends of the Sugarland 95, Sojas, Joran Runfeld, and the Pruitt Family Tree DNA. Notably, the support of Kaijin, the developers of the FIG genealogy kit we have been using, as they are providing free kits, discounted kits, and the free DNA kits that are here today for anybody who thinks that they are a relative of the Sugarland 95. You can come actually get a test and start participating today. For free. So please, if you think you are related, come find us. Our numerous donors have also allowed us to complete so much, and we are forever in their debt. Rain Clark, who started on this journey, is also someone we owe a debt of gratitude. I would personally like to thank Abby and Helen, who have stuck with this project since the beginning, and Meredith, Samantha, Rita, without whom we would not be as successful as we are today. And by the way, thank you, James, for joining us so recently. Thank you, everyone.
At this time, I would like to call Ms. Fatty up to the podium. Our Congresswoman Lizzie Fletcher was unable to make it, but she was gracious enough to send Ms. Fatty home. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Dottie Hall, and I bring greetings from the Congresswoman Lizzie Fletcher. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it. She's a little bit under the weather, but she wanted me to convey that she's deeply supportive of what's happening today, and if we need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Let me go ahead and read the certificate. On the occasion of the placement of a marker from the Texas Historical Commission on the site of the Sugarland 95, Texas 7th Congressional District recognizes the discovery of the hallowed ground and the members of the community who have worked to preserve and share the important history of what happened here and the people who are buried here. Congresswoman Lizzie Fletcher.
And now for a little bit of background on the significance of the marker we received. As part of the history of the Undertold Marker Program, I call to you Ms. Ana Alicia Acosta.
First, I just want to thank you all for being here today. It's a real privilege to play just a very small role in making this day happen, and to get to do it among really powerful women like Miss Marilyn and Cassidy. It means a lot. I'm Annalisa Acosta. I'm the Vice Chair and Markers Committee Chair of the Fort Bend County Historical Commission. The Texas Historical Commission launched the Undertold Marker Program in 2006 to address historical gaps in our state history, to ensure that the stories of all Texans are honored in our public memory. Each year, the program selects roughly 15 markers that bring attention to people, places, and events historically underrepresented from mainstream narratives. Out of more than 15,000 official state markers, only a few hundred fall under this initiative. Here in Fort Bend County, we are proud to now have 2 undertold markers: the marker for Terry versus Adams, the landmark 1953 U.S. Supreme Court Civil Rights case, and now this marker commemorating the Sugar Land 95, a solemn tribute to the lives of African American men who endured forced labor under the convict leasing system. This dedication is more than a historical acknowledgement. It is an act of restoration, remembrance, and responsibility. Markers like these give voice to those silenced by time and circumstance. They help us tell a more complete and truthful story of who we are as a county and as a state. But our work is far from done. There are still many stories left untold, many sites unrecognized, and many communities whose histories are under threat of time. While this marker helps correct the silence of the past, it also serves a vital purpose for the present. These histories are not just about where we've been. They shape how we understand where we are and where we're going. They allow us to educate current and future generations with honesty, humility, and hope, ensuring that the lessons of the past continue to guide us toward a more just and inclusive future. Please welcome relatives of one of the Sugar Land 95 to read the marker inscription.
Good morning. I'm truly honored to be asked to read the marker on behalf of the family. I am Johnny Sue Davis, but I also feel that I need to let you know I'm also representing one of our close cousins who was very involved, reaching out to family and getting us started with this involvement to the degree that we are now. Ernestine Myers, who has transitioned on. So we'll introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you so much, Johnny Sue. My name is Shira Aguirre, and I'm so humbled, to be here and to see all the support. This is so important, particularly at this moment in history, because if we don't recognize history, we will repeat it. So thank you so much, and I'll turn it back over to Johnny Sue, who will start us off.
Right. The marker reads, Sugar Land 95, State Convict Lease Labor Camp Cemetery. In 2018, evidence of human burials were discovered during the construction phase of the James Reese Career and Technical Center. Further investigations revealed a large, unmarked cemetery. The vast majority of those interred were convict laborers leased to area plantation owners Edward H. Cunningham and Middlebury A. Ellis from 1878 to 1911. Until the site was converted into a state prison form, archival data suggests at least 95 individuals were buried here from 1879 to 1909, known during rediscovery as the Sugar Land 95. Archival names for the site include J.A. Freeman Camp, L.A. Ellis Camp No. 1, L.A. Ellis Camp No. 2, C.G. Ellis Camp No. 1, and Imperial State Prison Form Camp No. 1. Convict labor developed after the Civil War due to a serious deficit of foreign labor after the emancipation of enslaved people and the death of 250,000 men due to war.
To find sources of cheap labor. Lawmakers began passing laws, such as the Texas Black Codes in 1866. These laws took advantage of loopholes within the 13th Amendment, allowing criminal conviction of freedmen for petty crimes or behaviors such as vagrancy. These actions overwhelmed the prison system. State lawmakers turned to convict leasing to provide the state with income and planters with labor while relieving prison overcrowding. African Americans, who made up 30% of Texas population, but 60% of the convict population, were leased to local landowners to cultivate crops, primarily cotton and sugarcane. Many times on plantations where they performed the same labor earlier as enslaved people. Corporal punishment guidelines were ignored, and food and clothing quotas rarely met. In 1911, the era of convict labor camps gave way to a new era of state-owned prison farms. The discovery of this cemetery is instrumental in developing a full understanding of the convict labor system and its effect in this area. Hence our occasion today. Thank you so much.
Now I would like to invite representatives from the families of Ben Dixon, Isaac Rhodes, and James Garcia, our burial number 54, to unveil the historical marker.
Really? And that was just the thing that she just said that she was going to stand behind. I know I'm going to stand behind you because I know my mom can get in here.
Everybody scoot over a little bit. Yeah, you could probably go on the other side. You're fine, you're fine. Man, I can't see you. You want to come around? All right, big smiles. Looking right here, please. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
For those of you who may be questioning, why is it where it is? It's kind of positioned off to the side. Don't forget we have work to do. So we were very intentional about installing the marker in a place that would align with the overall vision. Because sometimes you have to keep the end destination in sight while you're traveling on the road. And so the next time we have a gathering out here, you'll understand why the marker is positioned where it is for the long-term goal of outfitting this area into the outdoor learning area and proper cemetery.
We are beyond excited and humbled to announce that through the preponderance of the evidence of DNA matches with living relatives and historic records, it allows us to stand here before you today and announce that burial 29 is John Chambers. Will everyone please shout to the rooftops with me his name? John Chambers. 1, 2, 3. John Chambers! John Chambers, we see you and we remember you. And I would like to ask some of the family members, not of John Chambers that could not be here, but of any of the relatives of the Sugar Land 95 that would like to come put a plaque on his grave.
But also know that if you have any questions, I am here to answer them. I know that DNA testing sometimes raises questions for individuals, and if you would like to know more about it, know what your privacy is, what your rights are, I'm absolutely here for you, and I want you to feel comfortable with that as well. I know it's definitely a contentious area, so please seek me out. My contact information will also be available with the rest of us. Otherwise, I'm going to now turn it over to Abby, and thank you all so much for the opportunity to join you today.
As historical recognition, I am honored, humbled, and grateful. I was entrusted with this responsibility, and I am proud of the work we have accomplished. I do this work for you and the relatives we haven't found. You are the embodiment of resilience, so thank you for your trust, your patience, and for allowing us to do this for you.
I know at the beginning of the video I said it was in 2017. It was actually 2018. This once unmarked burial site was unearthed. In total, the remains of 95 individuals were laid to rest in this cemetery. Research has revealed that the burials are those of African American citizens who were incarcerated, then leased to a local plantation to provide labor through the state-sanctioned convict leasing system. It is believed that the cemetery was used between 1879 to 1911, associated with various labor camps. Yeah, all the markers say unknown and has a number next to it. Like this one says unknown number 53, 52, so on and so forth. So yeah, like they said, it's a total of 95 bodies buried here. 94 were men and 1 woman. Alright, well that's going to do it for my video for today. As always, I appreciate you watching. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Take care. Until next time. The vlog is over.